Okay, let's dive right into the story of Adam. Now, it's a story most of us think we know, right? But the version in the Quran, it's not really about an apple and a tree. It's a story about us, about humanity. It's about our freedom, our choices, and the very beginning of what it means to be conscious.
And this brings us to a really fascinating question, and it's kind of the whole point of this explainer. Why on earth does the story of all humanity kick off with a mistake? Why not start with a perfect, flawless hero? Well, the answer reveals a pretty profound way of looking at what it means to be human. So, first things first, let's look at the version of the story that most of us are familiar with. The simplified, straightforward narrative. But as we're about to see, this version actually creates a lot more problems than it solves. Right, so the common telling goes something like this. Step 1, Adam gets an order. Step 2, he disobeys it and eats from the forbidden tree. And step 3, the punishment, he gets sent down to earth. A pretty straightforward case of cause and effect, right?
But see, this simple version kind of backs us into a corner. If the story is just about sin and punishment, what does that mean for us? Are we all born paying the price for someone else's mistake? Is our very existence here on earth a punishment? For a lot of people, that idea just doesn't sit right.
And that's because it's not the full story, not by a long shot. The Quran offers a much richer and honestly a way more empowering perspective that completely reframes this entire foundational story. Because here's the thing, the story doesn't actually begin with a rule or a prohibition. It begins with something far more important. It begins with education and with honoring the human being. Before Adam was ever told don't, he was taught. He was given knowledge. He was taught the names of things. He was given the capacity to understand. This is what establishes our core identity as humans. We're conscious beings. We have reason. We can understand. And, this is the big one, we have the freedom to choose. And this quote just hits the nail on the head. Think about it. True freedom has to include the possibility of making a mistake. If you're just programmed to do the right thing, is it really a choice? Does that obedience even mean anything? The potential for error is what gives our choices real weight. So this is absolutely crucial. We have to redefine what error even means in this story. It's not some eternal curse that gets passed down through generations. No. Instead, it's framed as an essential part of the human experience, something that has to happen for us to learn, to repent, and to grow. And this leads us to the real heart of the story. You see, the central conflict isn't man versus God. It's about two totally different ways to respond when you mess up. And these are embodied by two figures, Adam and Iblis. And here it is, the moment everything splits. The core failure of Iblis wasn't just his disobedience. It was the arrogant thinking behind it. This one sentence, I am better than him. Wow, that's the birthplace of arrogance, of racism, of putting yourself above the truth. It's a justification, not an admission of error. And this just lays out the two paths so clearly. On one side, you've got Adam's path, which is all about humility. He admitted he messed up, he took responsibility, and he learned from it. But on the other side, Iblis's path is all pride. He justified his actions, he blamed someone else, and he just became more arrogant. One mistake led to growth. The other led to ruin. So, what about that whole descent to earth? If it wasn't a punishment, then what was it? This is where the story pivots from being a tale of failure to a story of purpose. See, the descent wasn't an exile. It was an appointment. It was the beginning of humanity's real role on earth, not as a punished sinner, but as a khalifa, a steward, a successor, someone entrusted with a huge mission. So in this narrative, Earth becomes this incredible place. It's an arena for our choices to be tested. It's a space for us to get to work, to act, to build civilizations. Adam wasn't sent down in humiliation. He was sent down to begin his real work. So after all that, why does this ancient story even matter to us, right here, right now? Well, because ultimately, when you boil it all down, it stops being a story about the distant past. It's a story about you. Let's break down the key takeaways here. A mistake is not the end of you. Repenting, turning back from a mistake is a sign of self-awareness and strength, not weakness. And the real problem, the true failure, isn't making the error in the first place. It's digging in your heels, becoming arrogant, and trying to justify it. And this is the powerful daily reality of it all. This isn't some abstract choice from thousands of years ago. We face this every single day, at our jobs, in our relationships, in our own personal lives. When we make a mistake, we're presented with that fundamental choice. Do we follow the path of Adam, with humility and accountability? Or do we go down the path of Iblis, with justification and pride? So we end up back where we started, but with a brand new question. The story pushes us to stop asking why Adam made a mistake and to start asking ourselves something much more important. How do we deal with our own mistakes? Do we have the courage to admit them, to learn from them? Or do we choose the path of justification? That choice, that's the essence of the human story.